Hello everyone, Dr. John Bartemus here today with another Functional Medicine Minute. I am very excited to share with you some new research that just came out in the journal Steroid Biochemistry and Molecular Biology looking at vitamin D and its ability to impact cancer, specifically breast cancer. This study here is titled Vitamin D Compounds Reduce Mammosphere Formation and Decrease Expression of Putative Stem Cell Markers in Breast Cancer. So what that really says is that when we're dealing with cancer, cancer creates a tumor, right? We're all familiar with that. Well, the tumor is this big ball of essentially non-carcinogenic cells. These are daughter cells that were produced from mother cells, which are cancer stem cells. Cancer stem cells are the cells that are very dangerous and very carcinogenic and cause recurrence of cancer. Now, when someone is diagnosed with breast cancer and undergoes chemotherapy and radiation and their tumor shrinks or goes away and they're in remission, what's actually happened is the chemo or radiation killed the daughter cells, which were never really something to worry about in the first place. But what science has shown is that that same chemo and radiation that supposedly gave you the successful diminishment of the tumor, those things make those stem cells very mad and make them more resistant and make them come back in a fury. So that 5-year recurrence of breast cancer, people say, I thought we killed it. No, you killed the daughter cells and you made the stem cells more virulent and more mad. So this research wanted to say, well, what about vitamin D? How does vitamin D impact breast cancer stem cells, if at all? And if it does, can we use that as prevention and treatment for breast cancer? So what they did is they took 2 breast cancers and studied how vitamin D, whether vitamin D would impact the first one and its progress to the second one. So what they looked at was called ductal carcinoma in situ, which is abnormal growth of epithelial tissues in the breast and accounts for 20% of the breast cancer diagnosis in the U.S. And what they found is recently this breast cancer has been reclassified as a benign epithelial lesion. So 20% of these breast cancers that are being treated are exposing women to lumpectomies or breast removal or chemo and radiation, things that cause cancer, for something that is benign and would have never caused cancer in that woman in the first place. Some of these ductal carcinoma in situ growths will progress to what's called invasive ductal carcinomas. But again, research has shown that these very infrequently will progress to something that the woman has to worry about. So what they did is they grew these quote-unquote abnormalities on petri dishes and they added vitamin D to see if vitamin D would attack these stem cells and inhibit the stem cells' function, keeping them from progressing to full-blown cancer. And what did they find? They found that vitamin D decreased the progress from DCIS to IDC, or the benign to the more aggressive. And vitamin D also increased the organization of the abnormal growth. So basically that ductal carcinoma in situ is a disorganized growth of tissue that can that is indicative of cancer. Cancer growth and tumors are disorganized tissue growth. Well, the vitamin D reorganized that tissue to look like healthy tissue. So essentially remove the abnormal growths. And then vitamin D was also found to repress the breast cancer stem cell activity. So vitamin D took the killer cells and basically repressed them or inhibited their function, thereby preventing cancer. So the study concludes, and I'll read it to you. The study concludes, cancer progression, metastasis, and recurrence are significant problems in managing breast cancer. A significant body of evidence indicates that breast cancer stem cells drive these processes, complicating treatment strategies. A better understanding of how breast cancer stem cells drive breast cancer progression will aid in developing targeted therapies toward breast cancer stem cells. Our present study suggests a potential treatment strategy to reduce the breast cancer stem cell population and therefore enhance the effectiveness of breast cancer prevention and treatment by using vitamin D. Now, if that isn't a wow moment and something exciting, then I don't know what will excite you, because if you can use something as free as vitamin D from the sun or as inexpensive as a vitamin D supplement to prevent and reverse breast cancer, then we can save hundreds to maybe thousands of lives of women who are being mismanaged and mistreated by the cancer industry every year, and we can prevent tens to hundreds to thousands of women from ever even being diagnosed because they took vitamin D. So I'm Dr. John Bartemus, and I'm here to promote Life at Optimal for you. If you have a family history of breast cancer or you fear breast cancer, don't be scared into chemo and radiation and mastectomies. Start today by taking sufficient amounts of vitamin D. And how do you know what sufficient amounts are? Well, that's something we can test in the blood very easily to give you a dose specific to you and a preventative dose specific to you to help you prevent breast cancer. Have a great day.